just going to take a look at this product. It's Aircast. It's a cooling, well, they call it a cryo cuff, and intermittent compression and an intercooler. I mean, it really is a lot of waffle for what it is. It is also incredibly expensive. £170. They're made in Mexico, so I wonder if that's affected the price, because if this came out of China it would be about 50 quid. So one of the most important things after knee surgery is cooling with ice packs, ice cuff, this sort of thing, the whole joint, to control the swelling and that sort of thing. Very, very important. It's got to be done 20 minutes with a break, and then you repeat that procedure. This is a website, healthandcare.co.uk. They're in Clapham in London. Like I said, £170, super expensive for what it is. The problem is there's nothing really else other than cuffs that gel packs that are shaped to go around your knee with Velcro. They're good, but I've got two and they were 35 quid for the two. But if you've got to keep getting up and down to change them, that might become an issue. Now, you would think that this is some sort of compressor, fridge type arrangement, but it's absolutely nothing of the sort. And we'll show you now what it is. So we have a medium knee cuff. Measurements are provided on the website. That is the most common size. I was quite disappointed about as to how flimsy this cuff feels in comparison to the gel ones that I've got. It's yeah, I mean, I may be being a little bit unfair, but it does feel quite thin. But if it does the job, and I suppose also being quite thin, it is going to be able to mould around your knee quite well. Well, it's supposed to have that hole in it. I assume it should do, to let any air in and out perhaps, but that is the medium cuff. Obviously we have a really thick booklet in 1,000 different languages, and English is I think about 13 pages. I have read online that the instructions really aren't up to as much as they could be, and having had a quick glance at this a few days ago, I kind of agree. The actual operating instructions are really just that single page there. It's 1, 2 and 3, and that's it. And then we've got a page of warnings and cautions, adverse effects, another page, and then it goes on to all the electromagnetic compatibility, all sorts of RF emission standards. I mean, really, we really needed pages of that. Accessory list at the back there. Anyway, so it comes with that. We have, in this particular case, a power supply. This is a powered version of the cuff. You can get this without the little compressor motor in it. Comes with a number of plug adapters. So UK one here. So there we are. That is a medical power supply. Oh yeah, as if. Honestly. Output 8.5 volts, 0.7 amps. 8.5 volts. Why would you pick such a weird voltage as that? Is 8.5 even available on those variable power supplies that you can buy? Very strange voltage. So that's that. Right, so we have a lid and we have an entry point for the power supply there. That I suspect is for the water to go in and out. Let's have a look at this main unit. So we have this plastic container. It's got kind of almost like an ice bucket, and it does say it's made in Mexico, but in 2024, so it's a recently made in March item. Inside that there is a pipe. It's got a screw-on connection like a washing machine might have, with a washer at this end. We've got another push fit connection, again with a small O-ring in there. Inside we've got the washer and the pipe going through to this. That unscrews. Yeah, there we go. That will go on there. This sort of price, it would have been nice to have had spare O-rings and washers for this, but can't even get them on. Alright, so that is on. Don't want to over tighten it. So how this works is, actually that's a it's going to be a one-way valve, isn't it, I think. Yeah, so I think what happens here is the pipe connects to the cuff, and there is a release mechanism here. That's a bit fiddly. I don't know whether you can see that little release mechanism. So we're going to push that in there. That is going to click there shut. I'm assuming, yeah, that's a simple push and release mechanism. So how does this work? Well, I'm afraid it's pretty basic. You have a ridge halfway, I say, it's about halfway. It's marked with an arrow and it's got H2O written on it. So you will fill it with water to about here, and then you will put ice blocks into it. They suggest, well, what I've used is yoghurt, old yoghurt cartons, you know, the larger size. So we've got some of those in the fridge, and then you can fill it up with ice until it reaches that maximum level. Then you can put this slightly insulating cap on the top. Now, strangely, it's so much smaller than the size of the container. It's a bit daft, really. So yeah, you basically sit that on the top, and then pop the lid on like that. It's got to be airtight. That handle is extremely flimsy and can't really be used to hold anything to tighten the lid up. So at this point the cuff is on, and you slosh this around, you know, make sure the water in there is ice cold, and then you basically lift up the container and the water will flow in to the cuff. So the cuff is on your knee like that, strapped on, wrapped around. Raise this up and this fills with cold water, as cold as you can get it, hopefully. And I'm afraid that's pretty much it. Once the chill has gone out of the water, you reverse the operation. You lower the container and raise the cuff until the water drains out of the cuff back into the container, and you can then let that cool down again because the ice will still be in there, and you repeat that process over and over. Now this is more expensive than the standard one because it's got this compression facility. There is the power supply in here. We've got a release valve, here, power there, release valve there, and what this will do is just put a little bit of compression onto the water that will make this squeeze around your knee. You can just hear that. Very quiet little motor, and that will just compress that water around your knee, and I'm not going to do that. As soon as you take the power off, the air is escaping out of the top, but it's got a mechanism inside that will automatically release the air every so often. So it's called intermittent compression, and that is very, very beneficial to your knee and its recovery. It's just so expensive. God, 170 quid. Look, as I said in the other video, if it makes a difference, if you save a few days or save a week in recovery time, or it makes the recovery less painful, less stressful, then it has to be worth it. Unfortunately, they do not give you this sort of thing from the hospital. What they do give you, and I didn't mention in the last video, they will give you a walking frame. They will give you walking sticks, and there was something else. God, what the hell was it? Nope, gone, can't remember. But they don't give you anything like this. They don't give you gel knee cuffs or anything like that, so you're going to have to get them yourself. The 35 quid for 2 iced gel packs are great. I've got 2 of them, they're in the fridge. I have tried them for pain relief, but they really don't seem to do very much for me, but they will certainly help in the recovery. So there we go. So that's it really. Super expensive Aircast Cryo cuff with IC, intermittent compression. If you can afford such a thing, get it and try it. Excuse me. You can buy different sized cuffs. There was an accessory section here, wasn't there, that I just mentioned. Let's see what else is mentioned accessory wise. So we've got a shoulder excuse me, you can get a shoulder cuff, thigh, back, hip, rib, elbow, hand and wrist, foot cryo cuff, ankle cryo cuff, and knee cryo cuff. All of them are in different sizes apart from the elbow, back, hand. They're not in different sizes, but all the others are. Oh, excuse me, I've talked a little bit too much today and now my throat's gone. So there we go, we'll report back with this when it's in use. As I say, really my only complaints are the price. Probably a lot of people will not be able to afford 170 quid on a device like this, and I would have liked spare washers. Hopefully they will be relatively easy to come by. I've got O-rings and that sort of thing, but it would have been nice. It wouldn't have hurt at that price to have included them. But there you go. That's what we've got, and that is the Aircast Cryo cuff. Let me just look at the instructions here. That label's really badly affixed. Honestly, come on. Prepare the cooler, connect all the pipes, blah blah blah. Empty the cuff, yeah, fill it up. The instructions on here seem absolutely fine. The warnings are going to be more comprehensive than the instructions, because you do not want to be freezing and killing skin because you're going to be in serious trouble. Yeah, actually it looks like it's manufactured certainly in the States, some of it, and obviously part of it in Mexico, so interesting. Yeah, anyway, there we go. If you can afford it, get it. You must ice the knee after surgery, and compression also definitely helps.